drill. This is not a drill. This is not a drill. This is a drill.
Hey guys, this is Julian. This is I guess August it is. Yeah, August patron only or patron fix your project stream. If you want to submit a song for next month, unfortunately I don't take submissions the day of because I have too many submissions on days like today. So we pick like 5 from the patron DMs on Patreon. So if you want to be involved for next month's stream, and I do these every month, make sure to go on Patreon and pledge a small amount and send me a song via DM. I do it this way because taking SoundCloud links and stuff like that, I can't give you a ton of feedback on. I don't really know what's going on in your song, so it's hard to, get a grasp of what's going on in your song. So we started to do these Patreon streams so that I can really dive into your song and tell you what the core problems I have with it are. So that's that. Let me know in the comment section if we have any problems with the stream. YouTube is saying I have some issues, but I don't think we're running into any. But if we do have any, let me know in the comment section and we'll get to it. Cool. So, we're going to start things off today with, I have a project file from Blind Spider. I'm going to switch over to that momentarily. I'm just getting things set up on my end here. Sorry about that. And here we go. So I think we're good now. Let's see. There we go. Cool. I got this project file from Blind Spider. The reason we're starting with this one is because he shared it via Splice instead of Patreon, even though I instructed him not to. But we're just going to start off with this one. He's got a lot of locators in this one. Let's see what we got here. Just want to confirm that the stream's going okay. Oops. Very cool. See what he's got on here. That's tight. Just confirm. Yeah, we're still good. Should be, at least. Yeah. I'm gonna skip ahead a little bit here. That's very cool. Okay, I think I get the gist of the song here. Blind Spider is actually one of my longest running students. This song is actually pretty solid. There's not much I would change about this one. I would maybe try to soften the top end of that kick a little bit. But in general, this one's really good. I don't know that I would change too much of it. See how that kind of like sets it into the background a little bit more if I toggle this EQ off. There's like this really sharp click on the top, and I think that's a result of kick 2. and it kind of sounds like kick too. So I'm just going to turn this EQ on, cut some of the top off, and maybe some of the mid out. It's a little bit too much, I think. Maybe like that. And I think that's a little bit better. What I want to do actually is in this build up here, I want to try to make the contrast between the build up and the drop a little bit more. And maybe we'll do like a soft drop kind of thing before he introduces these hi-hats. This is a really cool drop sound, but it's not different enough from the build up here. So let's see what we can do about that. Start things off, I'm gonna do like a auto filter, and I want to pan this, or I'm gonna kind of cut the bottom off of it as it moves into this build up here. So we're gonna take this auto filter. I'm not sure if he's doing that already. Nope. And then I'm gonna pan it up like so. Yeah, Blind Spider has improved so much. He was one of my first students and my first patron actually, and it's only right for me to look at his song first. So that kind of adds a little bit of motion here. Maybe we can cut out some stuff before that drop. See, I don't really want these maracas in there. I think he is like filtering them out, but I'm not into it. So maybe we can actually just go ahead and cut that bass out right there. That's cool. The kick is still bothering me. I'm going to go in the Kick 2 plugin actually and see if we can fix this up a little bit. I just don't like this click here. At least for this song. And we can remove some of that low pass. And I think that whatever that effects is on the side here, not that, but you have like not that either. I think it might be the rim shot. Yeah, this would be really cool with like a very cool delay on it. You've got like a Haas effect kind of deal going on it, but I'm gonna try it with some delay instead. I agree with Bart here. Some dark, like techno-esque stabs would be sick in this song. That's kind of cool, actually. And I think if you put a compressor on this, let's do a sidechain actually to that kick drum. And let's grab only the top end of the kick. We don't want to listen to all the low end. We want it to be a very short kick drum sidechain. Let's do a ratio, pretty high ratio, turn the attack down, and then set the release a little bit longer. We want it to kind of bounce with the kick drum a little bit more. Let's toss in a reverb and go for that like super warehousey percussion vibe. Maybe we could actually automate that mix down here so it gets more dry right before that drop. And then maybe we'll bring it back up for the drop so that it's a little bit back in the background again. Because when you dry something out, it feels like it's coming closer to you. And that's a trick I use a lot in my stuff. So. don't know that this build up has to be as long as you have it here. I would actually half this one, maybe make it shorter. Let's see. Now let's get rid of those maracas right before the drop. Like this new sound, I think it might be. It's like it needs to be like set into the background just a tad more. It's this guy. I'm gonna remove some of the top and bottom from this. It's dragging a little bit too much on the bottom, and it has a little bit too much top end. Let's try this. Cool. Let's do the same trick we did with the thing we put the delay on. I think it was, let's see, where is that? Was it this guy? Yeah, it was this guy. I'm gonna grab that compressor. We'll just toss it onto this new effect here. And your bass is like sidechained just a little bit too much to your kick. It's kind of dragging it down a little bit. So what I'm gonna do is actually solo this bass out, and then maybe we'll solo the kick out too. I think it's just a little bit too much motion. That's due to this right here. I'm gonna drag this up, and I want to listen for the top. I always go for the click of the kick, so I'm listening to just where the transient hits. Some people like to do it this way, where you're listening to the bottom, but I like the top. So we can avoid going, it's kind of a little bit too much on that low end. The kick could probably be shorter too, just a little bit. Can't really hear it out of the context of the mix, or in the context of the mix, but there's a little bit too much transient here, at least for my taste. Yeah. Actually, really like this open hat. This might be a little bit too much. Let's do something along those lines. I have a feeling we're hitting some sort of like, yeah, we're hitting the limiter just a little too hard. Turn that down a little bit more. That bass is still not quite sitting where I want it to. I wonder if that's more of an issue with like the sample itself. Yeah, you have beats on here. I think that's what the problem is. I'm going to change that from beats to a different warp algorithm. Let's try tones really quick so we don't get that aliasing. That made it significantly worse. Unfortunately, I guess we can do beats at 1 bar and that won't make that big of a difference. Let's just try that stab idea that Bart had in the comment section. I think I'm going to do that, and that should make it really cool. Just do like a big techno stab like Zonderling or something like that. unison. And then we're going to toss some reverb on. Maybe we can soften that attack just a little bit more. Then we can do like what I'm going to do is like a triplet right before into that drop, like so. There we go. Too slow, too slow. Let's do this half that time, and then we'll do this. Something like that really makes a difference, I feel. A little too low, a little too high. Weird key to be writing in. Let's grab let's do a compressor after this reverb to kind of catch some of the ambience. And then we'll grab the side chain. I think that's the side chain. No. Yes. Okay. And we'll actually put it here as well. Cool. So yeah, you can experiment with that idea. I think that adds a lot to the the song. Maybe we can just duplicate it a bunch. And maybe add some counter melody stuff. We'll probably work on this on our next session. And maybe you can add some variance to that or something like that. It kind of makes it drive a little bit more. Okay, that is Blind Spider. We're going to move on to the next one now. I spent about 20 minutes on this. That's a little bit longer than normal. Let's just move on to the next project. I think the next one I promised someone we would do is, let's see, if we go to desktop and we go to there, I think Aperture was the next one. We're going to do that. Let me see how the stream's doing. Once this opens up. Wow, we have a lot of viewers right now. Hello, everyone. Thanks for watching, by the way. Again, if you missed the beginning of the stream, if you want to submit a song for next time, and we do these every month, make sure to head over to Patreon, and I do these for patrons of the channel. And if you're interested in having your track reviewed, just make a pledge on Patreon, and then we'll do a thing. Yes, you did see a 5-house folder. We're doing some stuff in the future. Well done, Blind Spider. Keep up the good work. Yep, great job, dude. This is Aperture. He is a Discord member. In the Discord, he's Aperture. And if you guys aren't in the Discord, hop in there, and it'll be cool. Cool. So, play. Yeah, the only reason I do this is actually because, A, I need to make money, and B, I get too many... I would get too many entries if I didn't do it through Patreon, so gotta make it cool. All right, so let's give this thing a play and see what we've got here. I don't know if this is supposed to be muted or not. I think so. Oh, okay, so he flattened some stuff. That's actually really cool, man. Okay, let me see, as far as flattening goes, I'm going to try to unflatten anything I can. I don't think we need this. have the real one here. And I have the melody too. Let's see what else we got. Bass 2 and bass 1. I don't have your fab filter stuff, but I have bass 2, so we'll just ditch that one. Okay, let's see what we've got here and see what we can do to make it better. Although I really enjoy this one, it gives me like Massive Attack vibes. It's like industrial, but it's also like cool techno for the floor. So. Let's see what we can do with this. Like a delay on here or something? I think you do. No? Oh, you just have a LFO going. Okay. This is a Patreon only stream right now. I do some non-patron streams. This one's just for patrons. I only do these project review ones for patrons because it's a lot of work. I don't know that I would keep this note in there. Let me just disable it. And also, I would kind of rework this a little bit here so you have like a consistent rhythm. This one you have a, let's see what we have here. Looks like a dotted half note, if I'm correct. Dotted quarter note. Dotted quarter note into another dotted quarter note here. And that implies another dotted quarter note followed by a dotted quarter note here. So what I would do is actually imitate that here. You can always go ahead and revert this to your MIDI, but this is what I would do. Then I would go to there. Or maybe delay it to that next bar like deadmau5. Sorry for the lag, guys. Let me double check that we're... Unfortunately, there's not much I can do. Is it like frame rate lag or something like that? Or is it audio lag or what? I think my my internet's just crapping out right now, unfortunately. Yeah, we're turned down video settings. Right? Use a faster encoding preset. Yeah, unfortunately, anybody in this chat is familiar with OBS that I can change settings live. Might be able to do a constant bit rate of 44,000 instead of 4,500. Let's see if that helps. Again, I don't know. Yeah, the lag is pretty bad, isn't it? It should correct itself, but I'm not positive how or when. I don't want to continue with like garbage encoding though. Unfortunately, there's not much I can do. I think it's my internet currently, not anything else. If I close the live dashboard, it would help. Yeah, unfortunately, there's not much I can do for the video. Let me see if I relaunch this. How we're doing now. Slowly getting better. Yeah, I have a feeling it's because I have this open. I don't want this open, maybe. Suddenly it's better. Okay, cool. Yeah, I think it's my internet. Sorry, guys. But But yeah, I'm reworking this melody to be on the same rhythm. So it follows the same rhythm consistently. And I think that makes more catchy rhythms, just personally. Yeah, I think it's because I was rendering that 60 frame per second dashboard video in the background, and it's like crazy on your CPU. Let's try throwing some delay on this right here. There's probably some work we can do on this to make it a little bit more interesting. I don't know what the reasoning was for doing -5 here and then 7 here. You could have just written 2 notes to do the exact same thing. Let's try it just like zeroed out. Maybe we can like close this cutoff just a bit more. Ditch some of the reverb there. I don't know if you have Valhalla, so I'm going to use the stock reverb. I just really don't like serums. So let's just do this. And make it a little bit drier so that the tone really comes through. And I'm going to catch some of that reverb into another compressor so we can bring up the small resonances. And you get this big, like, super, like, gated snare-y effect on that lead there. That part's sick, so. But I'm trying to get the vibe a little bit better here, so it blends in with this more chill out section. Let's try like a kind of want to do something clever right here, right before that drop section, just to make the transition a little bit stronger. So let's just do this. Cut everything out for a section. Maybe leave it until that. And I want to do like a cool... like a cut. Do a snare, and I want to do a reverse snare into that snare, so I'm going to actually duplicate this onto a second channel. Let's reverse it. Actually no, it's not warp, reverse, like so. I'm going to hold command and shift this over to where I want it. I don't want to get the full transient, so I'm going to cut off a little bit of it. And then I'm going to go ahead and let's turn this to texture or something so So we don't have a like that. The reason I wanted to warp is so I can stretch it, and I want to make it like really long, like so. Don't want it. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Turn this down. And maybe cut the back off just a little bit more. Just trying to do like a cool little fill or something. It might require another snare or something along those lines. I think it might. Let's try like a actual sliding clap or something. Shifted clap, I should say. I have a folder of them in Leviathan. I'll just try one of these. We'll do a snare. Where is it? Snares and claps shifted. And this should be cool. I'm going for like a shk. This is probably work if we get the key right. Are you familiar with what key the song is in? Aperture. This is important. I want to say it's C, because you have it written there. C or A minor. Let's try for C. They were in D right now. We have to go to 2 semitones down. I'm going to turn warp on. Take this down to it. Let's try getting rid of that snare. It's still a little too draggy. More like it. Get this in the right place. That's F sharp. Let's get it to an F. It's a little bit closer. I'll take it down 1 semitone. Definitely better, yeah. And what I would actually do is for this melody section, I want to mute it for a second. So I'm going to grab a utility, throw it on this bus. I'm going to engage the mute button. Where is it? Here we go. Mute for one of those bars here, so we have a complete silence. I want to do the same with that atmosphere layer you have down here. Just cut it. Those little glitch sounds are just a little bit too loud. These guys here. So I'm going to dial those back just a little bit. Reminds me of like slow Deadmau5 or like when he does that like cool rock fusion industrial stuff. But very like Massive Attack-y. I would not suggest doing your snares in audio like that. It's a big waste of time. multiple bass layers here, I think. Let's see this. This one needs to be compressed just a little bit more because it's more subby. I'm gonna listen for top end. Make it a little bit more aggressive. Let's listen for kick. Kick, kick, kick. Let's try this. And I would actually roll the bottom or the top off of this too, just because it doesn't really need it. It only really needs that low end because it's like a sub almost. What do you have on your master? That's a little bit too much, I think. I would use like Ozone or something like that. You're pushing that limiter a little too hard for me. But that's this track. I think that little break we made right here really made a big difference in the energy transmission. And adjusting that lead to be a little bit less in your face really aided the arrangement a lot. Maybe you can even do something like this where you or something. I don't know, that's just an idea. You don't have to run with that. You have a few pieces at the end. Let's try listening to it. Oh, that's nice. That definitely is like bridge material. And then go back into the... That's a totally different song. This is cool. Maybe drag this into like the latter half of the drop here. Give it some like aggression. Or maybe that's not what I thought it was. What am I hearing here? These guys, yeah. I'm gonna grab these and drag them over here. Like so. That's very cool. Maybe use the thing and make it not fade and just trigger right here. And it would be a really cool like accent to the B section of that section. Cool. All right, so that is our Aperture song. I hope that helped, man. DM me on Patreon and I'll get this project back to you. Let's open the next one of the day. We have, let's see, who's next? Let's do Hendrix Hurst. We'll get to Dave and Cosma next. Hendrix Hurst. Thanks for coming out to Arizona, by the way. Hendrix came to my Arizona premiere a few weeks ago. Actually, a few days ago. It feels like longer than it is. That was a really cool one, though, Aperture. Very nice job. Cool. So next is Hendrix Hurst. Let's give this thing a listen. Hopefully things come through. I think I might be missing some samples here. Or something. That are very quiet. Yeah, it's just quiet. Very nice pad. Very nice. Those chords are beautiful, dude. Okay, Dead Mouse. Push that limiter, sorry. What is missing? Only one thing. You can probably like drop it a little bit harder than that. First thing I want to tackle in this one is you have some like weird gain issues where some things are too loud. I think your synth bus is way too loud for everything else. That's why I have to like push the limiter. Maybe it's not that, it's the pad. It's like louder than it should be. The main issue with this one is sound design and mixing. I think the writing is fantastic. Is there any way I can turn this up? That might be a little bit too much of a dip there. I'm gonna go ahead and disable your utility for right now. I want to see if we can make it work without it. This part's so beautiful. This is unnecessary. What I'm going to do is mess with your synth just a little bit. Automated. That's beautiful. I love your title of preset there. Let's just get rid of this. Too loud coming out of here. What I would actually do is separate that bass into its own channel. Because you're running into, here, I'm going to do this. You're running into the bass being too loud for the top end of this MIDI here. So I'm going to do is duplicate it. We're going to isolate these into two separate things. So what I'm going to do is ditch the bottom on this one, and ditch the bottom on this one, and then ditch the top on this one, and ditch the top on this one. So now you have two different layers, basically. This is your low one, and this is your high one. High pad and low pad. Seems like you have another layer too. This is like weirdly quiet though. I don't know why. Let's turn off the limiter. Turn up my speakers just a little. Maybe this one we can low pass a little bit more, whereas the other one I want to keep it kind of more open. I'm going to ditch this here. And I would also suggest using macros instead of using the actual filter cutoff in itself, just so you can remap it to things if you need to. See that filter automation is really get into me here because I can't adjust the filter. What I'm gonna do is cut it, and then I'm gonna apply it to a macro instead, and then we'll apply the macro to the cutoff. Try like a fifth down or something. Let's see if that works. Except for that one note. Nah. That's a little too high, so maybe we'll take one of these down so we get this. Doing the same thing for this guy too. Oops, what'd I do? Cut. I want to apply this to the macro, like so. Let's get rid of all that. See, the issue we're running into now is this chord is too bland with an octave. It's a little bit too empty with just one. Maybe we can try, because you already introduced it here. What key is this in? Hendrix Hurst. Maybe we do need that MIDI in there. Hold on. Also, this is just way too loud for the context of the track. Vol vintage. See if we copied this and tried it an octave down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Having a hard time sitting those chords because there's not enough musical information there. That keeps on being an issue. Okay. Let's cut this and apply it to the macro again. One thing, like a pro tip, never actually automate the thing you're trying to automate. Do a macro in between so that you can adjust the actual thing before the automation. And that gives you more flexibility. Like I never automate my volume. I automate a gain on a utility just so I can adjust it here. That ambient's pretty loud. Tuner and play the first key. Oh, well the key is the key is a G. Just a matter of figuring it out. Random tip about or random fact about me, I have perfect pitch, relative perfect pitch. Use some more voices on this. Let's try like a reverb on here. See, once all the elements come in, it's not so bad. But this beginning section is just very empty. Let's try compressor. Also, I would ideally not want this in the same group as everything else here. See if we can't make this a better sound. What I'm gonna do is get a softer wave than a square. It's a little aggressive for me. See, because every time I move this cutoff, I have to reset it here. Unless I convert this to a macro. So I'm going to do that right now. And that's like the most annoying thing ever. And I suggest not doing that so you have some more flexibility in where you can move your cutoff here. Of course, it's still doing it. So I clear this, like so. Zoom in. And then we have full control of the cutoff. So way too much reverb. And instead of shimmer, I'm going to use room. And I think this would lend itself better to a 4-beat delay instead of a 3. Let's catch some more of that with this compressor. You have everything automated. Even try like a 5th on this one. Nah. Really, you even have that automated. Okay. I don't know if this is really necessary either. What I'm going to do is mute your ping pong delay and try to just doing my own. You have a few interesting notes in there too. I think it might work with your modal change, but let's see. Try some reverb on this too. EQ this. Okay, so you have like an actual sub too. I didn't even notice that. And you for sure need a better bass in that drop, but we're running short on time. I just wanted to help you address these chords and getting that mix sounding better. Let's give us another listen here. And another note is like, don't be afraid to open that filter a little bit more. Your sub might be a little too loud too. try a like an actual limiter on here, a good one, like maximizer. And see how this sounds. Yeah, night and day. That's not bad. Cool. I know you like illusions, so I'm trying to go for that like super floaty. Perfect. Okay, well that's what I'm going to call wraps on this one. Let's go to the next one. We have 2 more to cover today. And I want to be finished by like 1:30, 1:45. So next, that was Hendrix Hurst, by the way, guys. I don't know how many people are still watching because I can't look at the thing, but let's get on to the next one. He's an awesome producer, and I'll get that back to you. Okay, next we have Dave Wynn. We're going to open that up. It's Rover. I think this one's pretty cool. Somebody tell me how many people are watching, because I have no way to look at it. I don't have additive keys or addictive keys or whatever the heck that is, but I have everything else. Okay. Next off, we are doing Dave Wynn. Let's give this thing a play. Ooh, 90 BPM. Cool. 77. Oh, I like this already. Oh. Running into like latency. What is that? Yeah, lag is because of the. This is maxing my CPU out. It's only like 19 tracks. What on earth could that be? Are you using like 50 voices or something? 3 voices. Whatever this is. No, that's not doing anything because it's got nothing on it. What has all that reverb? That's what it is. Something's got some reverb on it. That's very strange. I have no idea. Yeah, I went to the master and there's nothing on it. Airy pad. Release time 3 seconds. That might be it. I'm just gonna go ahead and freeze this so I don't run into that issue. What I'll do is I'll just put the side chain. Oh boy. Glue compressor. Nope, compressor. Do you have anything side chaining? What's preventing me from freezing this? Oh, routing keys MIDI in. I don't know what that entails. Where are you sending MIDI from? Oh, here. Well, that sucks. I can't freeze this because otherwise I'd have to. Maybe I can. Trying to isolate what that is. Oh well. I mean, it's not that bad. It's not the end of the world with that little bit of delay. But this mix is actually really good. There's not much I would change to this one, to be honest with you. Probably add some shimmer to that top end. Like that. Not cut as much and just make it really shiny. And I would actually open on the D instead of the C because this is kind of implying a C note. And you go to the So I would actually, I'm sorry, other way around. This is implying a D note, and I think you should go to that instead of the C first. You can see if that works. I'll just make a duplicate of this and then disable it so that you can revert if you need to. Let's see if this works. Just invert the notes. I would actually make this a separate bass and use the same exact layer under here just so you have some like sub underneath it. What I'm gonna do is this. So you have 2 different layers now. You have like a sus bass and you have the bass. Been a minute since I've used Wavetable here. I'm gonna try to make these a little bit more aggressive here. Trying to find the FM option here. It's been a minute. That's not bad. There we go. To make this a little bit more interesting, maybe we'll try like a ride or something on that Forward the Floor rhythm, just to fill it out a little bit. I think this track is pretty finished. There's not much I would change. The mix is fantastic, and yeah, that's pretty much it. So let's see. Let's try for a ride. If we can get one loaded here. Go. But again, this one's pretty much finished, I think. Like so. If you wanted to really res it out, you can maybe throw like a bit reduction on there. That's up to you. Cool. This one's awesome, guys. Let's move on to the next one. That is Dave Wynn in the chat here, and on Patreon he is Dave something or other. I think it is Dave Wynn on there as well. Okay, last one of the day, we have Cosma, and it's called Bella Vista. Baller. Yeah, that one was really good. There's not much I would change about that one. Hello, Born Hagger. Welcome to the stream. Okay. We got a few more minutes here. We'll take like maybe 15 on this one and see what we've got. Oh, I like this already. I want to say this is Tidris. Not sure though. Very Atlas-y. Yeah, like super Atlas-y. I'm gonna use a maximizer on this already just to get some volume. Limiting is not like adequate enough. This is beautiful. Jesus. As we're going through this, I think I'm gonna do some work on that kick drum. A little bit too much top end. I think that already helped. I'm gonna turn it up just a little bit now. Dial out 2K. It's a little bit too harsh. Yeah, I don't have your reverb, unfortunately. I can tell that there's like a reverb I'm missing. This is really good. Like, once we got that kick fix, I mean, like, there's nothing else I would change to this, really. You have to talk to Systemis. He does this kind of stuff. Okay, one thing, I might turn this bass up just a little bit, maybe like 2 decibels, 2 or 3. And let's add like some bottom. See if we can get some sub out of it too. Ooh. Like that. Kind of lacking some sub. Let's see if we can do that. This is just so good, though I can't even. This might be like Antichrist, but I'm gonna actually spread the bass out. And maybe we'll add some like light distortion. And then we'll compensate for that by cutting a little bit more in this EQ here, just to fill out the bottom a little bit more. See how this sounds. As far as production goes, this is incredibly good. The mix is perfect, I think. Maybe some of the atmospheric elements could come down just a little bit in volume. And that bass thing I just did, I think, kind of, you know, filled it out a little bit more where it was a little empty in the bottom region before. Literally bells and whistles. Do some work on that clap, maybe. It's super good though. Like, there's not much I would do to this to make it better. Drum bus. Let's just give it some crunch. And then I want to get rid of some of that low end on that clap. I did a subgroup, by the way. And then I want to sidechain that to the kick, just slightly, so we can get rid of a little bit of that, tail. Fortunately, you make your kicks, so like I don't know which is which. Let's see. That's really good. Okay, cool.
Hi, stream. Thank you, everybody, for being a patron to Julian. He's awesome.
Okay.
Sorry that I interrupted.
And then next we have, I think, the last one, which is Tidris. I don't know whether I downloaded yours or not. I may have. What was yours called, Tidris? I think you're the last one of the day, because I'm pretty sure I got to everyone else's. Nice group name. Clap. Yeah, no, this is too good. I can't really work on this. File, new window.
It's too good.
Yeah. Go to Patreon. Patreon. Sorry guys, I have to download Tidris's thing because I didn't somehow. Got all the other ones. He must have uploaded it last second. Yeah, let me just grab it. Hope this isn't confidential. Yeah, I did download it. I don't know where it went. I must have not done it right. Okay. This might take a moment. While this downloads, I'll just continue playing the song because it's so good, super good. We'll just listen through it. I'm assuming it's like 200 or 300 megabytes. Shouldn't be too long. This is really good. It's like Atlas level. Still going. Got a few more minutes. You should send this to Anjuna. Oh wow, it's a full gigabyte. Okay, it might take a minute longer. If this is your first song, I'm amazed. This is like nuts. Yeah. Ooh.
Very like,
Like Anjuna deep.
but it's got like that, like almost like a melancholy, like,
It's like a techno undertone or something. But it's like Anjuna deep.
it sounds like something Systemis would make
Yeah, yeah.
in a way, but like,
It reminds me of like if Monster Get Down and like Anjuna Deep made a song together. And mixed with Atlas. Atlas for sure.
this guy's saying this is his first song.
His first song like he's releasing.
Okay, well then he's obviously been sitting on music for
Yeah, he must be sitting on a gold mine.
like, picture this with like a nice like day party, you know, by the,
Yeah, exactly.
you know, you just jam it.
That's a really good like
Yeah.
hi-hat sample too.
Yeah, like that.
The melodies are perfect.
This guy's telling me to fix his project.
I fixed like 2 things, but
You didn't even write this
I
drawing.
could though. It's like it's kind of similar to Reed.
Whoever's in there, it's really good, dude. I
It's
like
quite
it.
good.
I like this. He's a bopper, dude. He's a bopper.
Got a few more minutes on this download for Tidris, and then I think we're gonna check his out and call it a wrap. It really reminds me of Systemis too. I think it's the pad. Like it's totally Systemis, yeah. So good. Hope my stream didn't like die enough. Had a vocal, it would be like a banger. Yeah, nothing to fix here, bud. Watney. I gotta talk to you after this. I'm gonna slide in your DMs. Still downloading Tidris.
Download mine, dude. Fix everything.
It's like a proper 7 minutes. You know, be finished any minute now. In the meantime, you guys have any like questions or you know, things you want to talk to me about? You can hit me up in the chat and we can talk for a minute. Somebody earlier mentioned whether you should go with the Rocket 5s or the M Audio BXD2s.
M Audio.
And I would go with the M Audio just because I've been using BXD2s as my secondary monitors now for like 5 years. I mixed the whole spare chain GP and the early versions of Navigate on those monitors. So there's your answer if you're still in the chat. Who else has questions for me? And I'll answer them in the chat. So also, how many viewers are we at right now? Because I can't see. I will literally put you in contact with Anjuna. Like, that's super good. And yeah, Yamaha HS7 is great, but like at the price point, the BX5s are really good. The HS5s are not as good as the BX5s. I would say, at least. Whatever you do, don't go with Rocket though. Rocket sucks. Really good for listening, not good for anything else. It's like Bose headphones. Any day now. Download. It should be almost finished. It said 2 gigs, so it's counting up.
That should only take like 4 seconds.
Yeah, but I'm encoding 60 frames per second stream right now, so it's like internet. No, do you need a sub with 5-inch monitors? It depends. I use 5-inch monitors and I don't have a sub. You just have to get used to what it would sound like with a sub. And you can kind of guesstimate. I've learned to like figure out what a sub would sound like without having a sub personally. And if you have a good 5-inch monitor that reaches low into the mid-low, you don't really need the sub. I think it fills out the room too much when you have a sub. I'm totally against like those massive monitors. Yeah, HS7s are great. That's what No Mana uses. And, you know, freaking No Mana is No Mana, so. Almost done. I believe that Gummy uses those too. I know 28mm does. HS7s are really popular. My buddy earlier that was in the chat uses them too. Yamaha. If you go with Yamaha though, I'd go with NS10s. If you can afford them. The OG. Okay, let's see. Almost. Oops. Got any more videos on the live performance series? Probably not for a minute. I want to do another one on lights and stuff down the road a little bit. When I start to do that a little bit more. As far as like Ableton Live performance, I think I covered all the bases in that series I did a while ago. There's not much more to talk about. Maybe like, if you mean like me performing, yeah, perhaps. Is a glue compressor, a master match EQ, and a limiter on the master channel enough, or would you advise to put a bit of saturation? My philosophy is to mix so you don't have to master. I don't use anything more than a limiter on my master chain. Maybe I'll do like a utility to give it some like contrast. I might cut 2 decibels or something from a breakdown or something so that it's not way compressed. But as far as like actual like processing on the master, I don't do anything except for an EQ, maybe a mid-side EQ, maybe, and a limiter. I don't do the whole saturation on the master thing. I know a lot of people do, and they have a lot of luck with it, but it's not for me. Watney, soon. Got to get it mastered first. Dude, I'll literally master it for you if you want, and have it ready, because I believe this song is super good. Yeah, I couldn't afford those. NS10s are no joke because they're like the gold standard. Okay, I think we're good now. Perfect. So I just got to open it up. Watch this not work. If this doesn't work, I'm going to be pretty upset. Save this. Just got the Focal Shape 50 and love them, but I'm afraid of not being able to make clear decisions with the sub. That's the issue I have with bigger monitors that have subs. The sub kind of, if you don't have a treated room, it drowns out the space, and it kind of muddies up the entire mix of your room, or in your room. So I prefer to actually not have a sub. How often should limiters be used outside of the master? I think a good amount of dynamic processing or dynamic shaping on a track-by-track level is a good idea. I use a compressor on almost every single track, and limiting is just really, really aggressive compressing. So do it. Do it. But do it tastefully. Don't just do it to do it. And that's an issue. Like, people throw 50 effects on every channel, and it's like there's no point. You're just going to muddy up the sound a little bit more. Oh, boy. Skip. Contact's having a fit. But other than that, I think we're good. Best headphones. I like the M-Audio. I'm sorry. Audio-Technica. What is it? The M50X. Those are tight. M50s are good too, just without the cord. Hello. That was super impressive. How long have you been working on music? Yeah, that's a good question. I think I want to know as well, because this stuff's nuts. Tidris. Okay, cool. We're finally in it. Tidris is one of the most talented students I have personally. Let's give this thing a listen. His writing's incredibly good. That's so good. Wow. I already know we're going to do some stereo separation. Track sounds very mono, but it's like beautifully done and arranged, of course, because it's you. Every single time, he blows us away. We're gonna hit a CPU ceiling. I already know it. This is like an album track. Oh, are you speeding up? You going to drum and bass or something? No, 150. Interesting. There it is. This is super good. So the main things I want to look at in this one are stereo separation and maybe working on that pluck. The clap really doesn't work for me here. I think it should be a snare if you're going for that drum and bass vibe. We're going to cover those three things as we go along here. So let's start off with this pluck. I don't know what this is. Okay, it looks like it's serum. So we should be good to go. Let's just hope so. Ugh. Can I like disable something? Turn the feedback down maybe? I think having a alternative rhythm there would be very interesting for that pluck sound. Pluck sounds really good. I can see you use the Nigel Good pluck, which is like the god of prog. I would close this just a little bit more though. Hard to hear what's going on. I'm gonna go ahead and freeze that again so we don't have to run into that lag issue. But it's sounding very good. Get wrecked. I think the CPU issue is because I'm encoding at 60 frames per second. And that's like very taxing on your CPU. So even without any CPU usage, or even without playing the song, I'm probably still at like 10%, 20% on my old Mac Pro. This is why I need a new computer, guys. I think I'm gonna buy like a brand new iMac or something. Yeah, it for sure is because I'm encoding right now. If I wasn't encoding a video at the same time, it would be flying through this project. But alas, we are. It totally is 60 FPS too. So I'm using a relatively low bitrate. Alright, I'm going to freeze this again. See if this sounds better. I basically just adjusted the delay time from 4 to 3 on the ping pong delay to give it some more syncopation in between each note, make it bounce a little bit more like Nigel. This would fit right in on like Silk Music or 03 or something like that. Very, very cool prog tune. Okay. It's chugging. Any day now. Maybe try disabling stuff on the master. Isotope. Yeah, that would actually probably help. Once I get this freeze done, I'll disable some stuff on there. You also have a very big tendency to use a billion things on your stuff. This is OBS. It's my screen capture software for the live stream. I bet that's exactly what it is, actually. What is this? Wow, instantly down to 50% CPU. make that side chain just a little bit more aggressive here. Oh, that's Audio Hijack. It's the one that allows me to reroute my audio in Mac OS. You can't do it like you do in Windows. Also, well, I would turn this down just a little bit to put it behind the main like ARPy lead that you have in there. Let's see if we can find a better snare for this guy. What I'll do is actually I'll duplicate this so you don't have to go and replace it again if you don't like it. And then I'll mute this out. But I'm going to try some different snares because I think it needs a little bit more of a drum and bass snare, and this one's a little bit more of a clap, kind of housey. And that's going to be a big ticket in selling these drums. Just mirror that like slightly off. Totally is. Gonna run with like a stock like 808 kind of sounding snare here. That sounds pretty cool, I think. I'm gonna use a little bit of reverb on that to bring it into the space a little more. Vol is a very obvious reverb, and it's good for this sort of thing. Actually do some processing on some of these hi-hats, and I want to turn them up and then side chain them to the kick and snare so that it's bouncing a little bit more. Shorten that up. But where's the drop? Kick sounds pretty good, all things considered. You can actually layer in that original snare so it kind of swipes into it. You can take it down. And again, I want to try to sidechain that to our drums so we can get it to bounce a little bit better with that kick drum. Other than that, I mean, this one's sounding pretty good. I want to mess with the stereo image in those beginning sections, but other than that, this is pretty solid. I think your pad might be a little bit too loud too. Like your strings or whatever the heck that is. Especially this guy right here. Make that side chain just a little bit more. I think we got to turn the bass up. Other than that, this one's sounding pretty good to my ears. Let's go to those atmospheres in the beginning. I just want to kind of toss these around a little bit. Just to give some width. Yeah, it's very nice. It's very like Jurassic Park. I like this a lot. Trying to save it. Come on. There we go. Yeah, and this one's sounding really good. Again, Tidris, you're improving a lot, and your stuff is already incredibly good. So, not much more I can say for this one. This one is quite fire, if you ask me. With the mastering, I'm sure it's even better, but I can't run it on this computer while I'm streaming. So I'm saving this, and I'm going to send it back your way. I think that wraps up August's Patron Fix Your Project stream. If you guys want to be involved in next month's stream, make sure to check me out on Patreon at patreon.com/JulianGray. And we'll do something like this next month. We do these every month, and patrons get to send in their projects and have them worked on the stream. So I'm Julian. I'm gonna switch back to the patron thing, and I guess I will talk to you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching, and look forward to some new videos and stuff. alongside the EP that's coming out on Mousetrap. There's going to be some awesome new content on the channel too for you guys to check out. Awesome. I'm Julian of Julian Gray Media, and I will talk to you in the next one. Bye-bye.